Radio Free Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 758. I am Stephen at Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
We're recording this on a Thursday afternoon. What a super rare Thursday afternoon recording, everyone.
Thursday afternoon news recordings always give me such anxiety because
The Willies, yes.
Yeah.
because I never know what might happen on the Friday or Saturday before the Sunday when this comes out.
Yeah.
And I always worry that we're going to miss something big.
Well, if we do miss something big, it will be inserted right here. And if not, then on we go with the episode. And welcome back. So later on in this episode, episodes 3 and 4 of our Power of the Daleks commentary, the original animation of said Power of the Daleks reconstruction, not the gorgeous-looking animation that they have in the UK and only the UK now on the Blu-ray, because we don't get that here in North America. So you're just going to have to make do. But as I said last week, do we actually talk about the animation that much when it comes to the commentary in this episode?
No, we do not.
We do not do that. So you can survive. It'll be fine. I also apologize potentially for the amount of this is another thing that happens on a Thursday afternoon, is that there is construction happening somewhere in this building, and just as we press record is when it really started unabated. So that's what you have to live with. This is the world that we are living in on a Thursday afternoon in Radio Free Skaro land. So we'll do our best to get through this. So first off, hey, you know those series season 26 supercuts that have been on YouTube and stuff? They did one for Battlefield and Ghost Light and The Curse of Fenric. You can see where I'm going with this. Survival is up there now. You can watch a Survival supercut on
10 minutes. It's all social worker talk.
It's just cats. It's just the cat scenes. Just the
cats.
cat. Yeah.
It's just hail and paste, nothing else.
Yeah.
It's actually just a kitten cam, and they just put survival on
I
it.
love Kitten Cams. Kitten Academy is my number one streaming service this pandemic. I would love to see that. Just let's watch the kitty. Let's just watch the cat. So that's up there. What else is happening in Doctor Who this week, apart from the massive breaking news that we talked about in that little insert that we recorded after the fact, or not? This is a surprise. Character Options has announced an exclusive Dalek twin pack, movie Daleks in Dolly form.
Kind of.
They're
claiming they're from the Chase, but since those are the same Daleks that are in the movie, everybody's like, yes, we get it, Character Options, wink, wink, wink.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Jungle's I know that Terry Nation Army, I think, had a tweet about the legitimacy of that claim, and I'm not entirely sure what they said about.
Well, let me tell you, in the world of the Dolly, it's legitimate enough.
Yeah.
It'll do.
I suppose. I don't remember these the big bumper ones in the movie, but I mean in the Chase. But I that would require me watching the Chase even more closely than I already do.
Even the novelization is painful to get through.
Yeah.
Richard Martin is not your favorite director, is he?
Not at all. Not at all my favorite director. No. Loves a good wide shot. Why do a close up when you can get everything in a wide shot? I don't. That's his philosophy essentially. But hey, dollies, are you going to get these, Warren? They're fun. They're colorful. They're colored like the movie.
Thinking
Daleks.
about it, I already have several different Daleks from various vintages.
But these are movie Daleks.
Tempting.
Look at them.
This is tempting. But where's my Cushing dolly? Damn it!
Where is the Cushing? That is a legitimate good question.
There must be so Hammer stuff, Star Wars something. There must be some Cushing stuff out there. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure there's a custom out there. Somebody must have made a custom.
Well,
perhaps custom.who on Instagram.
Well,
having said that, I'm sure the reason Character Options hasn't done one is because it's probably an entirely different company that owns the rights to it.
100%, yeah. I mean, they could, if they can't even get the posters for those movies into a Doctor Who episode itself.
Because they're not BBC movies, right?
Yeah.
They probably signed off the rights way back when, and who God knows what holding company owns them now, but it's not the BBC.
No.
Right? So
And
I assume, anyway, I'm not an expert. But
No, and they're out on Blu-ray now, probably, or will be soon anyway.
And that's why these are the chase Daleks, when everybody's like, we know better.
The chase. I think they should have, obviously, I mean, this thus begins our periodical, our infrequent segment of things that Character Options should do. And I do believe that, I think if you're going to go with movie Daleks in the chase, then you should have like a Beatles play set as seen in the chase as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's something where you could probably find dollies from Beatlemania.
I suppose you probably could, yeah. That'd be kind of great. I would like that. So there you go, Character Options. If you're listening, these are great Daleks and stuff, but I want to see some Meridians. I want to see Morton Dill and Stephen Taylor in the same package, and I want to see the Beatles. That's what I want.
I want a Space Pirates package. Just
what about?
Oh my God, do I want a Space Pirates package? Yes, please.
I
think actually, when they discover the Space Pirates, and they are going to discover it, I want it actually to be the first tie-in release Blu-ray set Space Pirates with Milo Clancy action figure as well. Comes with it. It comes with it.
An actual like Barbie and Ken doll size Milo Clancy's for that extra mustache.
12-inch G.I. Joe size.
Yeah, like a little egg boiler and stuff. That would be just so fab. It'd be great. Oh,
and then Character Options went bankrupt. Thanks to our suggestions.
Somehow, and you find all these Milo Clancy action dollies in bargain bins across Forbidden Planet.
Buried right next to E.T. cartridges. How they got there, we don't know.
We don't know, but...
Or better yet, produce enough of the action figures that every Blu-ray set has to come with a Milo Clancy. It's not optional. You have to have a Milo Clancy with every Blu-ray set you buy.
I just love Jodie Whittaker. What the hell is this?
Speaking of Milo Clancy, you got this good guy, this weird prospector who also flies a spaceship. What?
Why do people black and white?
Why do people call the Space Pirates awful? Come on, it's got a prospector flying a spaceship. It's the best story ever.
I like how you've become a prospector flying a spaceship.
And
yet somehow we complain about a pirate captain piloting a spaceship and curses the black
It's the same thing. They did it in 1969. It's a prospector.
That's what I like to call hypocrisy.
Yes. Space Pirates. Oh God, I really hope that gets discovered one day. I desperately want to see that. Literally, it's one of my most anticipated stories.
Listen, if you want a crushing sense of defeat immediately after good news, then just turn on the television and watch the news.
So I foresee the discovery of the Space Pirates kind of going like Graham opening the door for Ryan's dad in Resolution. Just opens the door, you see the Space Pirate films there, you shut the door. Nope.
Not me. I would be more Graham having the TARDIS wind blow against his face and saying, "It travels through space and time, the Space Pirates."
I would be. I'm going to watch the Space Pirates over there, and then I'm going to watch the Space Pirates over there, and then I'm going to have a cocktail.
That would be my ideal vacation right there. I would be my ideal vacation. Hey, at some point,
Warren, you could totally do that as a bookshelf doctors.
Yeah.
You totally
could actually.
Once
you get your Graham action
figure or the Space Pirates existing. But other than that,
well, that's true. But the Graham action
figure
dolly
is the easy one to resolve.
It's out there.
That's true.
You got to get one. Hey, maybe as I jump around a little bit, Chris, do not panic. Maybe they'll animate the Space Pirates one day, which they will, because they're getting through them all, folks. The word on the street is, and when I say the street, I mean the Mirror, but it was also sort of backed up by the Radio Times, that the Evil of the Daleks and the Abominable Snowmen are rumored to be the next animated stories. Which
that's two clickbaits, people. Two clickbaits,
yeah,
which makes them legitimate.
Saved you. Which makes sense, because they're sort of almost kind of going in order, apart from Fury of the Deep, which was jumped out there. But hey, once you get Evil and you get Abominable, then you've got Ice Warriors, which is already done. And then you got Enemy and Web, and then you got Fury, which is done. Then you're onto the Wheel in Space, and then you got to back populate Highlanders and Underwater Menace. Look at this. Starting to get Troughton to be kind of complete here.
Underwater Menace that did the recons for the two. Horrible recons, but they exist.
Wow.
I didn't.
No, they're really terrible recons.
I didn't think that would be possible to have a recon done under protest, but that is exactly what happened with the DVD crew having to make these under like, do not deviate from the screen grabs for the telesnaps. You cannot do anything with them. It was very weird, very, very strange. But so
given Webb is out there, 5 of the 6 anyway. I remember reading the Target novelization for Abominable Snowman as a kid and just really loving it. So I for one welcome this.
Oh yeah, I watched the. I mean, here's the thing about the Abominable Snowman. If indeed this is true, I mean, I think they're all the missing stories will be animated at some point. Is that it is one of the very few stories, might be the only one, with no music soundtrack at all, apart from the chanting of monks. And then you get the sound effect of the sphere and stuff. There's no music score whatsoever. So having an audibly stark episode or 6-part episode story, if you will be tricky for the animation people to do. I'm curious to see how this turns out. Evil of the Daleks has such a notable score from Dudley Simpson that there's a lot of great stuff happening in that story that I think it might make for easier animations. But Abominable Snowman would be tricky, so I'm intrigued to see how they would handle that if indeed this rumor is correct, which it probably will be. It's not so much a rumor as an inevitability in a way, I think, But.
Well, it's like you would say back when the DVD range was kind of winding up. Mm-hmm. It's like, we know everything's coming, yet we're somehow still sitting here speculating about what's next and when.
Yeah. Like, which is going to be first? Dragonfire or Terror of the Zygots? Oh, yeah. Who knows? On to Time Lord Victorious. Hey, there's a trailer. There's a comic series trailer. It's out on the BBC website, the Doctor Who website, which breaks down the first comic of Time Lord Victorious, promotes that. Also, I saw the BBC America posted a Q&A with James Goss, who's the producer of the whole range as well. That just flew by, Chris. You can add that or not to the show notes if you wish before this goes out on Sunday. So the Time Lord Victorious stuff is starting to pick up. So too is A Big Finish Out of Time is out now. That's the 2 Doctor story with David Tennant and Tom Baker in a full cast audio. All that's out now. You can get that as well. But also in June of 2021, Out of Time 2 will pair Peter Davison and David Tennant, who I believe know each other. And then Out of Time,
I think they've met.
They might have met
once or twice.
They didn't. Oddly enough, they did not shoot Time Crash on the same set. That was all split screen, every single shot, and that's not at all. It's a blatant lie. Out of Time 3 is due the next year, July 2022, where it'll be Colin Baker and David Tennant. That's awesome. Oh, look at that. David Tennant beating all them there Doctor Who's.
Insert Warren saying, well, there's a reason he's never going to meet McCoy.
Well, I haven't.
Sure.
Yeah, it'll happen. 2023 is when they'll meet McCoy, judging by
that would make the most sense.
The random progression of this thing. Yeah. Speaking of Colin Baker, The Age of Chaos was a graphic novel which he wrote way back in the day in the 80s, early 90s. I can't remember when it was. I had it or have it. I can't remember what. But it was a comic. It was a Marvel comic, I believe. And Panini is republishing it. How about that?
I am always here for Frobisher content.
Yeah, there's Frobisher in there, isn't there?
Everybody hates Frobisher, which is why I love him.
I think have they mentioned Frobisher in the television series, and by which I mean it's not. I'm assuming that Frobisher, the character in Torchwood Children of Earth, as brilliantly played by Peter Capaldi, was not named for the Penguin, because that would sort of undermine the seriousness of.
Well, wasn't he a shapeshifter, so he could be the Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot more sense. Peter Capaldi is amazing in that, by the way. Tortured Children of Earth. Yeah, I sometimes forget that he was in it, but his performance in that is why I was so excited for him to be in Doctor Who in the first place. And I feel like I should maybe like when I'm feeling particularly up and I need to be brought down a little bit. Maybe I should watch Tortured Children of Earth, but just focus on Peter Capaldi scenes because he's just stupendous.
I'm not familiar with this being so happy I need to be brought down a bit thing.
I know.
And I bet many people in our audience aren't either. So.
I have to wait for the day, and I don't think that day's ever coming. So yeah. Anyway, that's coming from Panini, but no release date yet. So stand by for action when it comes to that, everyone.
That's a very nice hat tip to the Thunderbirds, I think.
It might be. Possibly stand by for yeah. And also a Blackpool Remembered. So this is a free PDF coming. It's a PDF. It's probably out now by the time this episode comes out, but we don't have it yet because it's going to be literally it's going to come out in like 2 hours from this moment that I'm saying this on the recorded tape that is this podcast. It is it's about the original Doctor Who exhibition on Blackpool's Golden Mile, which ran from 74 to 85. So like early days of Doctor Who, exhibitions and props and stuff. And I've seen a few photos of this over the years, and it's kind of cool seeing Doctor Who actors on these sets and stuff. Well, now you can get sort of a retrospective of this for free via PDF, collated and edited by John Collier. Called Blackpool Remembered. Links in the show notes. You can download your own copy and remember the memories.
Wasn't it referenced in Revolution of the Daleks?
Well, Blackpool is kind of like Las
Blackpool's
Vegas.
where they were going to go.
Yeah, which baffled me. Actually, honestly, to this day, still baffles me why they included it. Just seemed out of nowhere and weird.
Well, because Blackpool isn't just a Doctor Who thing. Blackpool is like Las Vegas.
It's a holiday destination.
Yeah.
Okay, but why'd they cut it off too? Because
because they weren't going there after all. Because it was canceled. So
it's also a musical series featuring David Tennant and David Morrissey.
It just I don't know. That always seemed very like an otherwise great Dalek story.
Yeah,
it didn't make a lick of sense that was in there.
Well, we just explained it to you, so
yeah.
It's not really much of an explanation.
Well, the explanation is it was the cliffhanger to keep people, wanting to watch the start of the next series, which just didn't happen.
In an era of crap cliffhangers, that's pretty crap.
Well, which is more crap? The
Dragonfire?
No. Which is more crap, than going to Blackpool or not going to Blackpool? Like, which is like, what is that? Like, let's say they actually kept it going and says, I'll take you to Blackpool. And they go, as a kid, I would have probably gone, what the hell is that? I have no idea where that is.
That's exactly what I did.
So really, I was kind of happy that, I have no idea where they're going. This is exciting.
This is exotic location of Blackpool.
Well, I don't even know because they didn't say it. It just freeze framed.
Now, was that
on
the
his
missing
face.
season that never happened?
It was.
Did it actually? Okay, so they actually were going to go.
They were going to go to Blackpool.
To which story? Was it the
Nightmare
unfortunately
Fair.
named Robert Holmes story?
No, Nightmare Fair is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. But that is only tangentially related to Blackpool Remembered, which, as I said, is available now. Links in the show notes at radiofreescar.com. All right. We're done here, everyone. It's time to take a trip back in time to 1966 or sometime after that when they animated this story for our commentary of The Power of the Daleks, episodes 3 and 4. Welcome back, everyone. It's time to resume our commentary for The Power of the Daleks, serial code EE, for those of you following along at home. Erica likes this because it's her initials, just like I like the Wheel in Space.
I like that Chris just went, E.
Yeah, both of you aren't blessed to have a production code that matches your initials because they're not allowed.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
Oh,
I'm fine. I got CC. That's close enough.
You're closed captioned.
Yeah, you are closed captioned. And you're not close. Oh, I see. No, it's closed
CC
captioned.
is what, smugglers?
Smugglers. Well done. Well done.
I'm fudge.
Yeah.
I just go based on I know DD is 10th planet. So
that's true. Yeah. Well, and this is Edie.
I go for ODB 10th planet.
Warren is the Massacre the Aztecs, which is not very catchy, but both are written by John Lucarati, Warren.
The Massacre of the Aztecs.
Yeah. So think about that.
That's
Warren.
not catchy at all.
Yeah.
That's Lucarati's other unfinished script.
What's
I
your,
could do
what's
worse,
your,
I suppose.
What's your middle initial, Warren?
J.
Planet of Giants. Doesn't work. If it had been D, it would have been Marco Polo, which would have been all three of John Lucarotti's credited stories.
But it could be Massacre of the Planet of Giants by the Aztecs.
Well, I know, but I'm going with the John Lucarotti, who actually lived in Canada for a bit. Anyway, we're just endless preamble. We should be saving this endless preamble for the actual commentary.
The endless amble that is the commentary.
Where's actual amble? Yeah.
Yeah, which if you listened last week, we managed to stay on topic for about 3.5 minutes throughout the whole course of that commentary. Let's see if this changes. It's not a boring story, understand? It's just we have other things to talk about, and it's animated and stuff to do.
Animated makes it easier to drift off. I don't know why. It just does.
Just kind of. Well, let's see what happens for episode 3. I assume you've had your legally purchased Blu-rays and DVDs all paused and ready to go for a whole solid week. Good, because here we go.
Yep.
The Power of the Daleks, episode 3, in 3, 2, 1, play. And it is episode, because it's episode from the Savages on through until season 11, when it becomes part, except for Destiny of the Daleks.
Gunfighters was the last one with individual titles.
Yeah. And Destiny of the Daleks said, you know what, let's revert. How did we do this? I don't remember. Was it episode or part? Put episode.
You know who
1,
cares
whatever.
about this? Nobody but you.
Oh,
It's like sometimes they have this blank when it comes to like Dalek-centric stories, like Day of the Daleks. How do they speak? I don't know. How about this?
Everyone knows that this is what. Just do that. It's easy. Daleks are easy. Go.
So much of what becomes iconic is just seat of your pants, making it up as you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
to begin with, anyway, and then you're stuck with it for good or ill. Look at
kinda
Star
like-
Wars. Star Wars will always be in the late 70s, no matter what. Even the
be.
new Star Wars looks like it's in the late 70s.
Because it has to match that aesthetic. Yeah.
Part of the reason that the prequels probably didn't do as well, besides not being that great, is they didn't really feel like they were in the late 70s.
That's true. Also, they could have benefited from like a second take on literally every scene that's in that movie.
That's
you
very
know,
true.
like George, what do you mean cut? We thought that was a rehearsal, but no, it's fine. It's fine. The background will look great. We'll put it in post. It's fine. Move on. I know you're
Who
going
are
to
you
win an
people?
Oscar.
What are you
later
doing in
on,
front of my
Natalie
background?
Portman. Yeah, exactly. Like we worked hard on this background. Future Oscar winner Natalie Portman.
Future
Ruining
Thor,
it with your
Natalie
words. Yes, she was in that, wasn't she?
Portman. Well, she's going to be Thor, though, in the next movie.
Whatever that is.
Oh, for God's sakes. Thor, Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi.
I know. Yeah, win is what we're in the middle of a pandemic, Warren, is what I
Well,
mean
it'll
to say.
probably end up being a Disney Plus series because they'll chop it up.
Animated, clearly.
I saw a rumor, which is of course being taken as fact, that Donald Glover will be in a Lando series, and like several people made the point, why should he? He can make whatever he wants. Why would he be tied to a Disney Plus series?
Please
Well,
enjoy
if it-
this dated reference, by the way, people listening a month
Yeah,
after this
as
is
I'm proven
recorded.
wrong or right in several months hence.
I mean, if they drive a dump truck full of money up your driveway, like, you know, you're going to say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a Donald Glover, guy in his 30s, polymath talent, and you can either make Atlanta a passion show or be stuck doing Disney Plus stuff forever.
Yeah. I just want to point out that
And
I
then
wonder
don't forget the music.
if Robert Shearman was referencing this, you know, because the Eccleston's doctor sort of yells, I'll give you an order. And once you just go off and die, trying to get him to down. Look at that. I love that. He shuts down, but then he wakes up again because he's just playing. He's playing the doctor right now.
I'm just playing, he says.
Yeah. Not in a playful way, though.
I'm just playing, player. Don't
I
hate
just
the
like-
player, hate the game.
I just like this.
I
Like,
don't know why this Dalek is iced tea circa 1988.
I just like the, I guess, swaying is kind of the best word I can think of. Mm-hmm. You just kind of, swaying back and forth a little bit.
Well, that's what they did back then.
A little hypnotic.
Peter
Well,
Hawkins.
usually, yeah, when they spoke, so you could
Yeah.
see which one is speaking. 'cause
Doesn't
the
have to
lights
do
didn't
that.
always come on.
Yeah, we could pretty much assume which one's going to be speaking, which of the one Dalek in the room is speaking Dalek. Follow me, Dalek.
Quite
is
often, it
one
was
of
the
my
one Dalek that actually had somebody inside it too.
Well, I like how they italicize the Dalek subtitle so you can tell it's him.
because how would you know? You can't hear. You don't know what a Dalek sounds like. So
Ah, the hat is back, yes.
that's back. Very next day.
Is that an NFB reference? Yes, it is.
You got it. You betcha. Remember, Canadian content is a requirement.
National Film Board to everyone.
Yeah, looks like we got an Aaron Sorkin series going on here. The old walk and talk.
Oh, God, no. It's not pretentious twaddle with bad dialogue. Yes, I said bad dialogue. Suck it up,
Wow.
Sorkinites.
Yeah, take that. 7 years of the West Wing.
Oh,
Newsroom
God.
was an awesome show. I'm sorry.
I know people love The West Wing, and it's a good show, but calm down.
I literally.
So what I'm hearing is, where's the love for Sports Night?
There is no love for Sports Night.
There's a lot. There's
West
some
Wing.
love
The West Wing is
for
okay.
Sports
Like
Night.
I've watched some of The West Wing, and it's all right. But my problem is with The West Wing itself. It's that every liberal during the Bush era, and I consider myself pretty liberal, used it as a security blanket. Well, I'll just withdraw into this fantasy land. I'm like, why? Just come on.
Yeah. No arguments here.
My president, Martin Sheen, give me a break. Just come on, deal with the real world. I say as I comment on a 50-year-old story.
Who succeeded the Martin Sheen administration?
Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy Smiths.
Did he really? Oh wow.
Bail Organa himself.
He beat Alan Alda, didn't he? In the
I believe so. Yes.
there's a live episode. I literally flipped over for like 6 seconds. It's like, oh, it's a live episode. Cool. It's on videotape.
That's kind of a neat idea, especially
yeah,
during
it
the
is.
election.
Well, a lot of people were doing live episodes in those days, because we pretty much watch a live episode here.
Like, it is a good show and it's well put together. It's just that Aaron Sorkin is just so full of himself. Like, I cannot read interviews with the guy because he just comes off as a mega dick amongst the dickishness of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Artist or the art, etc. But still.
Anyway, here we go. Power of the Daleks, everyone.
I like how I got that rant out of your offhand comment about Sorkin-esque walk and talk.
Golly.
It's like you had it primed and ready to go. You just needed.
I didn't. It was just in this subcutaneous, really.
I hope that in between us recording this and the time it goes out, that perhaps someone who may or may not be Philip Morris finds this or has already found it and returns it.
He'll probably use the presence of a female doctor as a bargaining chip, I'm supposing.
Yes, first
I will get back Power of the Daleks if you pretend this never happened.
Yeah, you fired Stephen Moffat for me. Thanks. We didn't actually do that, Phil. But now I want you to completely change the regime. Yeah, anyway, we could go on. We're not going to go on. We're going to watch Ben man-spreading there on the bench. Oh, he's just put his legs together now. Pillows flying through the air. Yes, he is, Ben. Thank you for the social commentary, right little delinquent. He's an Asbo. That's what he is.
He is a bit of an Asbo. He should be in the Misfits. Mm-hmm. What would his secret power be? Complaint.
I don't know what the Misfits are. So
it was a delightful show. The first 2 seasons were delightful. The third was okay. There's a 4th season after that. Wasn't great at all.
Was it ITV or Channel 4? I can't remember.
I think it was
Or
Channel
was it
4.
even
Yeah, it
BBC?
was a
Even
bunch of
BBC?
Asbos who get superpowers, and it was either brilliant or stupid or both sometimes.
Sounds like the X-Men.
Something like that, yeah. It was
on,
also quite funny.
It was on E4 apparently, and ran for 5 series. Wow.
Golly.
5 series. The first
5
2 series,
series.
I don't remember his name, but he was this really funny Irish guy who was the best thing about the show. And then they replaced him with a British guy who looked like a young George Orwell and had a line that I can't repeat here about E.T. that is just fantastic.
They haven't done a celebrity historical with George Orwell yet. I'm kind of waiting for
I really hope they don't.
Yeah.
Like how this is fraught with difficulty. Either you're hanging out with him as he's being consumed by the tuberculosis.
Ah, yes.
Or he's in Burma, and I love George Orwell as an author. I've read most of what he's written, but you don't want to go to Burma.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Here's your you want a tangential Doctor Who reference to George Orwell? Here it comes.
Sure.
Here it comes. The animated film version of Animal Farm came out, when is that, the 50s, 60s? It came out basically
50s,
as
late 50s,
literally
I think.
funded by the CIA, I think, as a propaganda thing.
True, isn't it? And it's not very good.
I remember watching it in school and enjoying it. Anyway, the voices of literally all the animals are done by one Maurice Denham, who, of course, went on to play Asmail in The Twin Dilemma. There you go. There's your Doctor Who connection.
What I would like to know is why nobody, unless they have, the BBC hasn't used, because we perfected animal lip sync 20-odd years ago with the Babe films. Mm-hmm. Why haven't they made another good Animal Farm with, live action animals?
I don't know.
Or even animated animals like
or even a new animated one, yeah. Or maybe they have, I don't know.
I think Disney's working on one, and then they'll do a live action version.
I mean, it's a
20
real
years later.
downer of a story. Don't get me
That's
wrong.
the thing.
It depends on you understanding satire based on communism of the 50s, but
Yeah.
Just to stem the tide of potential emails and or tweets, don't forget, of course, the 1984 movie had John Hurt in it.
I know that, but
the 1984 movie is great.
I wanted a tangential reference to. I wanted to work into the Twin Dilemma. Basically, we talked about Twin Dilemma.
There's a bunch of
That's
Doctor
fair.
Who people
That's
in. Is Snyder in it? No. What's his name? Runcible the Fatuous is in 1984.
Is
The
he really?
1984 one. Yeah, he is.
I can't remember his name now. Hugh Walters. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Doctor Who's talking to a Dalek here on the anime.
Oh, that's a phone. Look at that thing.
I find
also,
it go on.
in 1984, also apparently Roger Lloyd-Pack is in there too.
I do recall that, I think, yeah. I want to point out that it's kind of unseemly that we're talking so little about this animated Doctor Who story, because I believe the commentary is on the actual DVD set, one of which there's a variety of guests across all 6 episodes. I don't think the animation was done yet before they actually did the commentary for them. So I was like sort of thinking, wow, this will be like a rare commentary where we're actually commenting on the finished episode. And here we are talking about 1984, and like last week we were talking, what are we talking about? Aaron Sorkin earlier. I mean, what's wrong with us, for crying out loud? People worked hard in this animation and we're not even talking about it.
Yeah, we're terrible. I like the skulking though. This is good quality skulking.
Well, Troughton was a good skulker. He was.
From family to family, he would skulk.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Oh,
Yes.
this is awesome. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good lately.
Yeah.
That
Like he's
was,
basically trying to torture the. Like, this is very much Eccleston against the Dalek in Dalek.
Also, I like how we're being kids who just got called in school. And then
Yeah.
give us 5 minutes, we're going to go right back to what we were doing.
Actually, the funny thing is, and forgive me for touting my own work on this, but I think back in the first gap year in 2009, when I set out to watch all of Doctor Who in 1 year and write a blog post about literally every episode, and then managed to stop with 14 episodes left in the McCoy era. But I wrote about this, and I sort of like, I think I drew upon those very comparisons that I just made now to Power of the Daleks, to Dalek. 11 years ago I made these comparisons. And I think Rob Shearman actually commented on the blog at the time, and I'm thinking, is this Rob Shearman? Is this really him? Because, at the time I didn't know him. And it might have been. I think it might have been, because I think
when would that have been written? Because I
2009,
I knew him before then, but you would have met him at Cali in 2009.
I would have, but I don't. Ooh, boy, you have to think about the timeline of these things. Anyways, maybe it's around the same time, but I didn't believe it, and maybe I still don't. But yeah, basically, I've been making the same points about Doctor Who for literally every time I talk about it. But then again, I am a white male, and this is what we do.
Wow. I was going to say it, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, this is just.
And who
what
could
happens.
scold a white male better than another one?
Every time we think we have come up with something amazingly new and prescient about a thing that's 50 plus years old, we realize that we've been saying it already repeatedly for the last 10 years.
Mediocrity, thy name is us.
Mm-hmm. June 16th was your entry for Power of the Daleks episode.
Oh, wow. 2000. It was 2009, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good job on the callback there. Good job in remembering the website name. I'm not even sure I remember my login for that. So if I ever wanted to complete it, I might have to do it somewhere else.
Well, Blogger is owned by Google, so it's probably your Google login.
It probably is, actually. Yeah.
Does Blogger still exist? I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
Or
they do?
Blogspot,
All right.
whatever.
Yeah, Blogspot.
Yeah.
Power of the Daleks. Janley's great because it's a power, strong female character, but which is super rare in this day and age of Doctor Who. And notably, she's the only woman in this whole colony, apparently, too. So there's a bit of a Smurfette
And
syndrome.
on your entry for episode 6, yes, Rob Shearman did reply.
There it is.
Stop talking.
Oh,
Sincerely, Rob Sherman.
Oh, there it goes. Annika Wills is on holiday for the next episode because of this. And then Ben is on holiday for the episode after this, I think. Isn't it? I think they share a holiday. Or they... So already they're basically like, we don't need them. We don't need Ben and Bolly in this new show. And this Lloyd is already thinking of an escape plan, basically. Valmar's Talmars are the currency on Pluto in this Sunmakers, but they're not named after Valmar here.
So many Talmars.
So many Talmars. We haven't done the
My
Sunmakers
dear
yet,
sir, all he
have
needs
we?
a wily accountant.
Yeah. God, what a great story.
What, this or Sunmakers?
Both. The soundtrack of which exists. It's fast. We can't really hear it here. Is this the last time we hear this soundtrack? I can't remember, but the music for this is Tristram Carey providing it, but it's basically stock music because they're reusing his score from the Daleks, which they reused in The Rescue and also in the Daleks Master Plan, and I think in another story too. I think The Ark also. And they were using it here again. It's good music, though. It's good, eerie music that we can't hear because we're not listening to it. But Boop. Daleks. See, they're better when they're shorter because they're kind of unassuming when they're shorter, you know? There's like a Napoleon syndrome going on with the Daleks. So when they made him like 6 feet tall with Matt Smith's Doctor, you know, because Victory of the Daleks was very much... He stops his Dalek is pet. Nope. I nearly said the loud, quiet part loud. So yeah, Mark Gatiss. I mean, he was... he didn't hide the fact that it was
That's
written as a
fair,
direct homage, ripoff of Power of the Daleks for Victory when he's saying, you know, would you like some tea? I am your soldier, as opposed to I am your servant, as it says here.
Let's look at the pantheon of Doctor Who sins, though. He hasn't been decrying a female doctor, now has he? So Mark Gatiss is just fine.
Oh, no, he's fine. He's fine. He loves the show. He loves it to bits, and you can tell that. I don't think it necessarily translates.
That's true.
100% successfully on screen, except for Adventure in Space and Time, which is
Nobody's had 100% success on screen. He's had some good ones.
no.
Had some bad ones.
Well, he's had some good
everybody
moments. I don't think they've ever like manifested into like a brilliant episode, but there are certainly have been nice moments in Gatiss stories. In my opinion, it's only mine, but I'm sure that little prop that the Dalek has just worked. Look at that. He's devious. I think that prop has probably appeared in Doctor Who.
But you're right. Adventure in Space and Time is the purest expression of it.
Yeah.
And it is glorious.
I want Chris, if you still have my blog post from 11 years ago open, I wonder how many things I will say during this commentary that will basically almost be word for word what I wrote.
I have closed it. Sorry.
That's fine. No, it's good. I don't want to be fact checked. I want to think that I am being original when I'm saying.
The thing is, I'm pretty
things.
impressed if you are completely and accurately repeating yourself. That in of itself is kind of a skill.
Well, is it though? It just feels like
it's a feat anyway. Maybe it's not a skill, but it's a feat.
Well, I suppose my perspective. I thought like, oh wow, I've changed in 11 years. I haven't at all. Maybe a little bit, but apparently Doctor Who remains the true constant. I just think the same things over and over about it.
Well, I mean, welcome to middle age.
True.
At least you can remember that you said things.
I suppose so.
I mean, that's probably better than just saying the same thing and not realizing.
Well, I say them and then I realize that I already said it. So if I could only remember that like a couple minutes earlier, and then I wouldn't be. Oof. Daleks without guns are a weird. Like they're still weirdly threatening. Even though we know they can't shoot. Oh crap! I almost said a dirty word there. Because they've got guns now.
Shoot worth a darn, I believe you're going to say.
I just love how they are treated in this story. Everyone just assumes they are harmless. When I say run, first instance.
Despite the initial thing with, Lesterson and Janley witnessing the guy getting
but like
stunned, but still shot.
But they didn't think it was. They thought it was like, it was electrical shock. Like they didn't think it was the Dalek shooting him. And Janley goes, "Oh no, he's fine. He's fine. He's dead." But he says, "No, we just got to take him to the hospital really quick right now, and only me. You can't watch this. I got to take this guy who's totally alive.
Ooh, camera move.
That might have been an actual camera move because I think that
It's kind of cool.
They didn't go that high. Let me tell you, because they'd be hitting rafters right now in Riverside Studios. But it's one thing that you forget about, and that move in and itself was probably tough too because we're shooting animation. You have to sort of you have to animate a different aspect of what you're drawing. Like it's basically we're watching 2-dimensional figures here, and so to turn it into a 3D thing is very tricky. It's one thing like when you're watching telesnaps of a missing Doctor Who story, you forget that the camera moves at some point, and we're not just watching static cameras. And so whenever a camera move happens in Classic Who, it's like, whoa. That camera weighs like the same as a mainframe computer, and they just moved it around.
And it has about as much computing power.
Yeah. Good old giant cameras. And you could tell. Like, I watched some music shows, a lot of from Germany. Beat Club is one of them. And sometimes they have like these avant-garde shots with you can actually see the guys with the cameras in shot before the show starts. And you can almost feel the weight of that camera when they're doing like a big tracking shot across. Like you could just feel that. Like you can tell that that's not like on a crane or something like that. It's on a steady cam. There's an actual weight and a momentum to this camera move. I find it quite endearing. Giant cameras. It's an art moving those things around. That's what's wrong with television today. The cameras are too small. I think they should be made larger and more unwieldy.
That's what's wrong with television.
Yeah.
Evergreen comment.
Yeah. Cameras. We need bigger cameras. That's what we need.
We need tube cams. It all comes back to tube cams, my friend.
I think you're right.
It all comes back to what I saw as a child, which therefore is the best.
Brains. Have you seen the story before, Warren?
I watched this when it originally got the animated version got released.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I wasn't sure.
I think I bought it, so I did watch it.
Did you
once.
really? You don't usually go in for all this stuff, so.
Well, I figured for this one I'd make an exception. Also, I want the color version as well, just for the hell of it. Not that I watched it. I did watch this version, but
yeah. Well, BBC America aired it every week, didn't they? Isn't that how they did it?
I think so.
Like one episode a week, yeah. I
think did you swear you were going to watch it in that way, even though you bought it off iTunes or wherever you bought it?
Well, I think in iTunes. Oh, I don't remember this now. How it worked? Did they release?
Maybe they did. Yeah, maybe they
like one a week.
Maybe they did put out one a week. I think you're right. Yeah. So I think that's how I watched it. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Verity was going to do a recap, a review of it, and then they were assuming that all 6 episodes would drop, and then they didn't, so they had to do a course correction.
So I must have watched it that way, which I recall actually enjoying.
It's the way to watch Classic Who, is one episode at a time, because that's how it was made.
Maybe not with a week. Like I'm used to a day between them.
Yeah.
Because that's how we watched it. Again, how I watched it as a child is how everything should be.
That's right. Tube cams. I like that. See, power. You could say they were talking about electrical power, but what they mean is power. I know
that's a cool trick there. These look like they're 3D.
Yeah.
But anyway, the fact that they reflected them on his glasses, which you could do it with animation, but it'd be tough. Traditional animation, I mean.
Animation I don't know how they do it. It's computer magic. How do people draw things? How do you just draw? How do you sit down with a pen and then you draw something and it looks like something? It's what is this?
There's a whole thing to that.
I'm terrible at drawing.
Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've always been terrible at drawing. Just terrible.
So have I.
Good with Lego. I can build things out of Lego. But I can't draw.
I can slap pictures together. I can't really make them, though.
Yeah. It's an art. Writing words also. Kudos to all those people who create things out there.
Well, I thank you, sir.
I wasn't talking about you specifically, Warren.
Damn you. I'm taking credit anyway.
I'm talking about random people who aren't you. It's basically what I wanted to say.
Right.
I meant that back.
So you're basically not talking about me, is what you're saying.
Not talking about you. Everyone
specifically
but you,
making
Warren.
a point, not talking about me. Gotcha.
Excluding everyone in this room, you're all doing great. Super.
Wow. That turned mean.
It did a little bit. I know. As a joke. I'm just joking. It's all fine. Didn't Mike Collins, who I said was a Gallifrey one, didn't he do like storyboarding or something for the modern series too now? I can't remember. I thought he had a further credit as opposed to this, but I'm not sure what Steve Roberts did, to be honest. But like,
Vid fired it.
Did he press? No, he doesn't even do that. It's Peter Crocker does the vid firing on it. What's he on there for? He's like, he gets a special thanks for literally everything. Doesn't do a damn thing anymore. Steve Roberts. Anyway, episode 4 of the Power of the. We're halfway through this thing, everyone, if you can believe it. So here we go. Episode 4. I assume we have it all queued up here.
Yep, we sure do.
Here we go. Episode 4, Power of the Daleks. In 3, 2, 1, play. I don't know if you knew this, but Power was rumored to be having been found.
One of the 2013 Omni rumor.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those. I actually, speaking of Steve Roberts, I remember talking to him after I interviewed him at Gallifrey 1, whenever it was. It was the year we were in that room.
Every year, practically.
Yeah. But I remember after we're sort of talking and he was talking hypothetically, but not really, about what if episode 6 came back, and there's probably I think there were a lot of censor cuts because it's a remarkably violent Doctor Who episode for this time, and
especially if it got run through Australia. Sure.
Exactly, which is probably where it came from, if it was to come back at all. And so how many censor cuts would there be? Oddly enough, the earliest censor cuts come from the very next story, the Highlanders. But they don't.
I was just gonna say, would the excised censor clips be out there to reinsert? But
nope, not for these. But they wouldn't need them because they exist. Is here.
Oh, it's more of an Islir.
That was kind of business. I couldn't think of the name. That's why I went with Zixir.
Zixir works as well.
Yeah.
That's the one I tend to remember. That's the one for Monster of Paladon.
Yeah. We've just passed the 3rd anniversary of Doctor Who, by the way, in between episodes 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
3rd anniversary. We're on to episode... This is the 138th episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, 138th episode spectacular.
You betcha it is. This is the one. Yeah, my Google Home didn't understand that either. So,
oh, I thought
there's a new one.
I thought somebody's Xbox turned off.
No, I thought it was Siri, which has been triggered a few times in the history of this podcast. But for the first time, the other robot.
That's a good zoom right there.
That is a good zoom.
Thing.
It's not
right down to the bolts.
Too dissimilar to what. Oh, that's a good
nice
dissolve.
Transition,
yeah, it was good. That probably wasn't the original, but you never know. They did. I mean, the camera scripts are available. They are on the DVD as well, actually, so you can read them along. Maybe that was a thing that Christopher Barry did. But
yeah, you'd also mentioned that audience reaction remarks are on a PDF on there.
Yeah,
as well.
They are. I want to read this now because so the audience research report date for part 3, the episode we just watched, oddly enough. Said that they had a 2-page thing, and let's have a look here. Do you want to know how it went down with the folks? The reactions of this sample of this audience were distributed as follows. Here we go.
How large a sample?
I don't know.
Okay.
Here we go. 217 people.
Okay, that's okay.
So there we go. Is the 11% of the BBC One viewing panel who saw all or most of the broadcast. Well, that's great. I'm glad they at least tried to watch all of it before they did the sample. 3% gave it an A+, 17% gave it an A, 45% gave it a B, 22 for C, 13 for C-. That's as low as it gets. Giving a reaction index of 44. So that must have been how they calculated the appreciation index at the time, which the overall for episode 1 was a 43, which is remarkably low. But every episode after that rose from that. But
there's a lot of, and not every story had an appreciation index, but there's a lot of stuff from Classic Who that everyone thinks so highly of, and you look at the audience reaction, and it's like 50, 55.
I know, it's relatively high compared to everything. I love how the Doctor is holding a chair, and that's the famous would you like some water, some liquid drink. Also, I want to point out here, so in this viewer's report, it says more often viewers in the sample reported a very moderate degree of enjoyment, and a number were secretly, it's a bit of an iffy scan of this. Quite a few said that they did not care for the new style Doctor. He, quote, didn't seem right somehow, and they now like the stories less than before. Once a brilliant,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, once a brilliant but eccentric scientist, he now it comes over as a half-witted clown, a teacher maintained. Another viewer writing, the family has really gone off Doctor Who since the change. They do not understand the new one at all, and his character is peculiar in an unappealing way. There's a few comments like that. So yeah, Patrick Troughton himself was getting
of course
reactions. Yeah. So just if you're thinking, oh well, everyone hates Jodie Whittaker and on the new era, and everyone hates Peter Capaldi, this has been going on literally since the first Doctor change in 1966.
But since before then, I'm sure they were from the first season of Doctor
Who. Who is this old guy? Why are we watching him?
First show.
Yeah.
That is a lot of words to read.
That was a lot. I wonder if there's like a secret thing in there somewhere. You had to pick it out. Somewhere it says this is a fake felt tip. Static. That must have been a David Whittaker holdover, because of course he was there for the first story, the Dalek story, when they needed static electricity, and they haven't used that since. Static electricity, but he still thinks they need static electricity. This is where counting Daleks comes in handy. Yeah. There are 4 Daleks. Actually, there's 5, but David Warner, Richard Warner.
You're making references to Cardassians?
I am. There are 4 lines. There are 5 lines.
I've been watching. I'm deep in season 6 of Deep Space Nine, and I will say it now. You are right. It is the best Star Trek.
Staggeringly good, isn't it?
Praise be.
Once you get into it, once you get down into the depths of it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, whatever. Babylon 5 made him do it. Blah blah blah. Who cares?
You know what? As the series moves on from literally the first 3 episodes, you realize, okay, there's not really much similar going on here.
I've just reached the point where Gul Dukat is losing his mind because his daughter gets killed. So after a giant invasion, and there's just good stuff's happening all over the place.
Yeah, I'm season 6, oddly enough, is when I got involved in the show, but I got hooked on it. And then I watched.
It's a good time. It's when it's hit. Everything's hitting on all cylinders.
It really is, and I think that's what hooked me at the time in '98. Yeah, '98, I think it was.
And Odo is just he's not a good guy at the start of the season.
Not making the best decisions, that's for sure. I think it's at season. I'm not going to say which episode it is, but because I don't remember when it comes out. I don't want to spoil it if you've already passed it. But I remember watching that episode, and the premise of it, I thought, oh, here we go. This is one of the bad ones. And then it turned out to be literally one of the best episodes of Star Trek I've ever seen. I thought there was no way.
Is that the Union one?
No, it's not that one at all.
Yeah, okay.
But
I'm on Series 6, Episode 6. So which one are you talking about here?
I'll say this:
that?
It's a Nog episode.
Okay.
That's all.
He gets better too.
I'll say that. I'll say it's a Nog episode. And when I saw that, I said, "Oh wow, this was stunning." I am okay. That's it. It's the best. We're calling the election desk is calling it. Florida goes to Deep Space Nine.
If only.
If only. Deep Space Nine somehow swoops in as the third candidate. No one saw that coming. No one. I defy you to find a political broadcast that thought Deep Space Nine sweeps to victory in the 2020 election.
The Jill Stein of our time.
Somehow, why didn't we think about a 25-year-old television series winning the election? We never thought about it. We didn't prepare for it at all. Now what do we do? Deep Space Nine has just won. You mean a character from... No, the actual show has won the election. President Deep Space Nine. Now we have that. What is it? Who knows?
I'll take it.
It's an
Even
entity.
if it's just a videotape that sits on the Resolute disc, it doesn't do anything. We're still ahead of the game.
It's the VHS box set of Star Trek Deep Space Nine is now the Commander-in-Chief of the United States.
And whenever they ask for an order, it just plays the theme song.
Power of the Daleks
Again,
is great, but Deep Space Nine is really good too. Really good, just like Power of the Daleks.
Now I'm intrigued by this whole Nog thing.
Yeah, well, I don't want to spoil anything.
I'm gonna have to start looking up Series 6 and 7 episode.
I'm gonna have to too. I'm gonna have to look it up too. But I'm fairly sure it's a season 7 one, but or maybe it's season 6. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna spoil this. If we get it in a future Fluid, I mean, it might be irrelevant by the time that next time we do Fluid Links. But I know one person asked. And I know that the Radio Times Doctor Who podcast mused about such things. But what if, because of this pandemic, what if Doctor Who had an animated season instead?
I mean, sure, if they can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure.
And what would be cool is if what if they did this way? They did, and they're not going to. But if they did an animated season, on top of that, they did different styles of animation every episode. So it's a different kind of one's an anime style, and one's like kind of weird old 1930s style, and one's a Batman the Animated Series kind of style. You know what I mean?
You basically portion out to different people. It's like, here, make your style of it. What do we got here? Like, here's the script. Make your style. What's it going to look like? That is so intriguing. That would make it.
And then you get Nelvana to animate one like they would have in the 70s.
Like they would have done in the 90s.
Or whenever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating. But then, maybe we'll see how this Lower Decks show goes for Star Trek. Which, by the way, I just want to point out that being in Canada, i.e. not in the United States, everywhere that damn trailer's geolocked, I haven't seen a single second of Lower Decks.
It's on Crave, because I just looked it up.
Oh, it is? The actual show? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. It wasn't there when it
because it'll be on Crave.
It'll be on.
That's
Crave,
one of the reasons when Doctor Who went away from Crave, I was like, well, why do I have Crave then? And then I was like, oh yeah, Star Trek. Never mind.
It's just
the trailer looks fantastic.
Does it? Okay. Like, what's the tone of it? Is it comedy? Is it a?
I don't know how comedy. I don't know how fantastic it looks. Chris and I have differing tastes in comedy. Let's put it that way.
That's fair.
Is it for kids? Is it for adults? What is it?
I think it's for tweens.
Teens and up.
Is like Clone High? Is that what we're looking at here? Is that
No, it's not as clever as Clone High from what I can tell.
Okay. Because I've just, being new Trek, I'm wondering if it'll sort of sail along for 3 to 4 episodes as maybe sort of a PG-13 kind of show. And then this week, F-bombs everywhere. Let's just, what the hell? We're Star Trek now. We just do F-bombs. And next week, not so much.
I mean, the thing with the F-bombs and Picard is they're both shocking and kind of fun.
Superfluous and dumb. Anyway, I don't want to get into that.
Superfluous.
They're
also, I want to see a show about Picard's Romulan spies /
the best
servants.
part of the series, best part of the show, and we leave him behind after 2 episodes.
I mean, I would say it's a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. There's some parts I'm like, about, but it's not bad.
It got worse as it went along. I'll point it that way.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, they're hiding out. That's right. They're listening to this secret meeting. The secret cabal trying to take over. Because as I said in my blog post in 2009, the power of the Daleks, I love the double meaning or triple meaning maybe if you think about it. The power of the Daleks being the power, the actual physical electricity power to power them. Then B, the power of the Daleks. Look how much power the Daleks have. But then here, it's the power of the Daleks and how they can sway a colony into doing, what Janley wants and what Bragan wants and Hensel wants. That's the power of them. That they're a weapon for these people. At least they think they're a weapon, of course, because once the Daleks get their power back, they just waste everyone. In a grim episode 6, as we'll get to. I'm not sure that. I wonder how surreptitious that quick shot of Bragan was supposed to be, because you quite clearly could tell that it was Bragan waving his hand, and I'm not too sure we were supposed to know that. It's supposed to be secret. Oh, nice work. Yeah. Blew an hole in it. I like that they drew in his comb over. Poor actor's gone. Come on. Give him my
young Ray Romano on the left there.
Kind of is, actually. I mean, the likenesses are good.
The young Ray Romano taught us how to laugh. He did no such thing.
He did. Never did that. No, I didn't watch that show. He's in that. He's in that Scorsese epic that I got 20.
Oh yeah, he is. That's true. He's actually pretty good in that.
Schindler's List?
No.
No, you can't do it, Chris. Just stop trying. Only Steven has that power over me. Yeah. He's like my Saruman. You were like, at best, I don't know, Tom Bombadil.
Lesser orc or something, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got 28 minutes into The Irishman. I realized, okay, Scorsese's making his movie again. I get it.
I made that into... I watched The Irishman like you're supposed to watch classic Irishman Doctor Who on a weekly basis for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, it should have been broken into episodes. It's a long movie. Couldn't do it.
It's not bad.
No,
I wouldn't say it's his best, but it's not bad.
It's the same. I don't know. It's the same, just like Taxi Driver and Carrie and
it's actually
Raging
not
Bull.
like any of those things. See, I'm getting angry, Chris. I could just roll it; just rolls off my back. Steven, I don't know why, but
Terms of Endearment, which is probably one of his better ones, but
Chariots of Fire is up there.
There's probably a Doctor Who connection to something there.
Oh, Bragan's there. Okay, so basically the secret of Bragan is out like 12 seconds after we see him, so maybe it wasn't that much of a secret.
Look at that glorious 1960s garbage heap
I know,
mechanical
yeah.
device.
I love that like a lot of the props were hired out from Trading Post, which was a prop company basically. And I think they stopped somewhere this season. And I love that you can see those same props that they hired out in like not just Doctor Who, but like other. So I bet you like see in like UFO or something. Or I bet you the Prisoner has some of the same props. They just get like hired
I
out.
guarantee it,
Yeah, to fill out the background. I think if you look hard, there are some props that get reused in modern Who now, but they're not reused in other productions, which is part of the fun. It's fun to watch props reappear in different shows and episodes, just like it's fun to watch actors do the same.
Mm-hmm. This is a completely random thought, but I think they should bring Reese Shearsmith back to play the Second Doctor as he did in Adventure Space and Time. But he's playing Salamander. Salamander returns.
I would disagree with that.
What could possibly go wrong?
I think Reese Shearsmith is the flaw in the Persian rug that is all creatures great and small.
Well, he definitely would be with all creatures great and small. Get this kid off the set.
Adventure in Space and Time. Quinn, I forgot about him. He's in this prison cell forever.
Okay, so who do we bring back to play Salamander, which is just the best idea ever?
Yeah.
I know, an actual Mexican actor.
That's the thing. So you got to find an actor and then someone who, I don't know, that's dodgy.
Who resembles Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
The answer, of course, is Sean Pertwee.
Did he pick up that? I missed it because when he ran out, when I say run like a rabbit, the hat falls off, and I can't remember if he picked it up. I bet you they did because they're animators and they would not see an opportunity to make things right. They would see, no, pick that up, pick that hat up. Power of that. So I think this was only sold to like 3 or 4 countries, I think, for export at the time. It was shortly after this, actually right when they finished production of this in December of 1966, when the BBC made an entire film run copies of all the episodes up to that point, because some of them, the earlier versions, only existed in what was called suppressed field film recordings, and that, because there's a flicker on the screen, right? When you shoot a film camera at it, at least there was in those days, and so they basically had to cancel out every second line. So like the resolution of the original suppressed field recordings were literally 271 lines or something like that resolution. And so they made much better recordings of all of them after this went out. Basically,
back in the day with CRTs, you had to have somebody on set on films to make the TVs run at 24 frames a second.
Yeah, and so when they made telecine copies, which literally pointing a film camera at a TV screen, they had to sort of cancel.
That's one of my favorite bits of trivia for Star Trek Motion Picture. All those monitors are Super 8mm strips.
That's crazy.
Which I guess had to run 24 frames a second, so that's a lot of Super 8mm. Basically. That's
a still right there. It's my belief that when they made that run of, because they brought, okay, make of all of Doctor Who new stored field film recordings is what they were called, because they accurately matched all the lines of resolution in the film version. Let's do the whole run, all of the episodes up to this point. It's my belief, there's no documented proof of this, it's my belief that, they're not going to say, let's not do this one episode because we're not selling it to Australia. I think they just did a complete film run, because that's the way people work in TV. And I think they actually made a film copy of Feast of Stephen, even though it wasn't sold to Australia.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I believe that one was made. It might not exist anymore, but I know that some people say that it was never sold to Australia, so that one is for sure never coming back. But I think a film copy was made. That's my suspicion.
Who hasn't worked in TV understands the concept of professional inertia.
Exactly.
Which is what happens.
Why would they just just leave that one on the shelf? We're not using it.
Just because some nerd on Gallifrey Base thinks about this incessantly doesn't mean the guy working on it did.
Yeah. It's just
in fact,
gig.
He probably didn't.
We're making film copies of all these episodes of Doctor Who, pretty much all of the Hartnells, and maybe
he wasn't thinking, I'm going to preserve Doctor Who. He's thinking, I really am looking forward to lunch.
Yeah, I'll just get this right, put it in there, right, do thing, right, there we go. That there is a image, I think, or a still image, I think. Actually, no, that was one of the promo images they used to sell this.
Nice.
Oh, look at
that's the third Doctor. That
is test footage from Hartnell, is what that was. Yeah. A nod of Troughton. They were originally going to make new titles for episode 6. Oddly enough, but they didn't. They never made them. They never made the new title sequence in time. I think it finally came out when Macroterra, I think, was the first one. So it took a while. Oh, look at this!
Good old Dalek soup.
Yeah, I mean.
That looks like some of the bread I've seen people make during this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Worms and all.
And then, of course, the new Dalek is working the fryer.
Yeah, the deep fryer. Oh, what a...
How?
See, now, this bit was on film sequence. They shot at Ealing. So it wasn't on, videotape. It's one of those scenes that I really wish existed. It'd be fascinating to see this. I mean, there's a lot of still images. That right there is pretty much... an accurate representation of one of the still images from it.
It almost looks like the opening credits on that screen in the back corner.
It does.
I like how much less complicated these Daleks are compared to the new series Daleks, where they kind of unfold. They just dump the thing in there. You go,
pretty much.
Toss them in the bin and then get going.
Like a whole... Oh, God. What a magical scene. Oh, look at that. I don't know if that was in the original, a line
That's
of
pretty rad, though.
Dalek guns coming down the conveyor belt. All they need.
In fact, I doubt this whole thing is. Yeah. But still, they do look great.
That's definitely a shot. Now, the funny thing is, of course, the animated version that's real Daleks, the actual film version of which there is a clip of that. No, that's not the cardboard. Those are the toy ones, basically. They're toy Daleks. Oh. Michael Bryant saw them in the store, and they thought, let's buy some for the sequence. And they tinkered with them somewhat. But if you look at the actual film sequence, it's just they're clearly not actual Daleks, but yeah, the animated version replaces the cardboard Daleks that we'll see later on, possibly in this scene that we're looking at right here. There's cardboard fill-ins. Yeah, this is embellished. This is not an accurate representation of how it went out.
No, because they wouldn't have that many people in Dalek shells, and that many Dalek cases in the first place. And
they wouldn't have a studio big enough to pull out that wide. Yeah.
Or the camera pull back that high. Yeah.
Peter Forbes Robertson's a name that sounds familiar to me. But I can't think why. There's somebody Forbes Robertson in Genesis of the Daleks, I think, wasn't there? Played the Time Lord. Buster Cole's a good name. He sounds like he's probably a gross. He grossing us. Buster Cole grossing us. Some gang trial in 1960s Britain. As I think back to Brian Pern taking a stab at acting.
Drop the sonic device.
Which one of you is a gross?
Getting a bit rough, is it? One of the greatest moments in Doctor Who history.
We haven't done that one, have we? Attack of the Cybermen.
I don't think we have.
No.
Because we'd remember we had, because we'd go, but Dan it, Dan.
Yeah, God, we'd just be humming the soundtrack. Yeah, our commentary for Attack would just be us humming the soundtrack endlessly.
We'd talk a lot more about Attack than we would the Daleks in this.
I hope you're enjoying the conversation, though, Fo. I mean, this is one, we try to sort of like not have it be locked on to picture, because then you'd have to sit and watch it with us. And some of you people don't listen to the commentaries while watching things. You just sort of listen to it as a podcast. So we hope we've passed your day that way. You can just hear a random conversation interjected with bits about an episode that we're watching.
Twin Dilemma, Attack, and Varos.
They're all on the board. Wow.
Oh, still there.
Early Colin Baker, still on the board. That's fascinating. Well,
it's like it doesn't want to be played.
It's like the ring doesn't want to be found, sitting at the bottom of the lake like that. That's it for this year episode of Doctor Who: Radio Free Skaro. Join us for the final 2 episodes of The Power of the Daleks on the next podcast. We hope you enjoy us then. All right. Until then, I am Stephen Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.